Hey, fourth grade, Mr. Bauer, how are you? Hey, last video. This one is for Wednesday, June 10th, and that's next week. It's actually a week from today. So, hey, last one.
Woo woo!
So, you guys have been awesome. I love Dr. Couture, your class, your fourth graders, awesome. The rest of fourth grade, hopefully I'll see you everybody next year. There's a chance I might be teaching possibly, but as you know, September we're not sure what school's going to look like, but anyway, there's a good chance you'll see me. So it's not goodbye, it's have a nice summer kind of thing. So, but let's do this last video, okay? So we are finishing up Unit 7. We're going to do all of Module 4 for your last part here. And it's just all multiplication, guys. It's just all multiplication, which is, you guys have gone over this so many times this year. I hope that you won't have too many problems, okay? So on 293, I believe we're talking about student book, 23 times 34, or 34 times 23. So just so you know, when Bridges and my professor in college, when you see this, it means this. So instead of doing like 34 down and 23 across, when you see a problem vertical like this and you make it horizontal, the bottom number comes first. And that's just how I was told through the years. So, so 23 is down and 34 is across. And now you get your partial products, and you're going to add all four of these up. Okay, you remember that. So we got 600, we got 90, and 80, and 12. Okay, so I believe that's 782.
Can I ask you a question, Mr. Bauer?
Yeah.
That's great you guys do that, like, a certain way. If they ended up doing 34 and 23, would they still be okay and get the same answer?
They would.
Awesome.
It's not a mistake. I'm just saying the correctness of what this particular expression looks like, and this is what, see this? This is what it looks like when it's horizontal.
Right.
That's all. But yeah, you could do 30 and 4 down and 20 and 3 across, and you will get 782.
Still be okay. Awesome.
Yeah. Now, on 294, they are having you do some like this, where they're having you split this first number. So it's partial products again. So 14 is made up of 10 and 4. So if you do 4 times, that's the distributive property, right?
It is, yeah.
So 4 times 24 is 96, and then there's 10 left, so 10 times 24 is 240, and you add them together and get 336. So, you know, this is another possible method, okay, where one number stays as is, but you split the other number into smaller pieces. And you still have to multiply by the whole number that's left, but you can split this, the distributive property, make it smaller partial products, and then add them together. This I just put here since we were going over quite a few different methods. This is just the algorithm. So 5 times 5 is 25, and remember we regroup the 10 up here. And 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2 is 17. Don't forget, second layer, you got to start with that 0 because this 2 is in the tens place. Now you can just do 2 times 5 is 10. Regroup the 1. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Now you got your partial products. You add them up, 875. Okay? And then you have a whole page of these to do on page 295. And this is, you're going to have 4 partial products that you have to add up. Okay? So we did this a couple days ago. you're going to start with this one. So this is 30 times 20, 600. Okay? Then you're going to cross 30 times 6, 180. Now, the 3 is done, so let's go to the 7. You're going to cross 7 times 20. See, that 2 is in the tens place. 7 times 20, 140. And then the last is 7 times 6 is 42. Okay, and we add those up, 962. Okay, so once again, you have a whole page of those. I can't remember if there's 9 of them or whatever, but you have a group of those to do on Student Book 295. Okay, so straight up and down and cross. If you follow this pattern, there is an example on the page, so you can always look at the example, and once you get going, you'll be flying through those. On 296, once again, it's choose your own factors. So it's like 2-digit times 1-digit. I think there might even be a 2-digit times 2-digit. And then the challenge is a 3-digit times 2-digit. So do the best you can on those. 297 is some word problems that it's basically doing all this multiplication like you did before, but it's inside story problems, okay? On 298, you're reviewing all these methods. They give you a bunch of different problems and they tell you which method to try. So you're gonna try all these methods again on page 298. 299 and 300 are more word problems. Just the same as before, they want you to take what the different methods you learned and put them towards word problems. And then the last couple pages, 301, 302, is just a big, like, 4th grade review. You got addition. I mean, I'm talking regular addition, subtraction, and then some ratio tables to do. Okay, so let's talk about home connections, 145 and 146. So an expression, basically what Bridges looks at as an expression is, it's almost like a formula. You have 7 times t, okay? We haven't plugged anything in for t yet. It's an expression. We don't have an equal sign yet. So it's called an expression. Now, when it says evaluate the expression, it means, what if I tell you what t is equal to? And you plug in whatever they tell you to. So evaluate if t equals 6. So up here, t equals 6. Well, now you know 7 times 6 equals 42. And now we've got the full equation up there with the answer. So that's what evaluate means, so don't let that fool you. It just means, hey, here's the formula. What if t equals 6? What's the answer? Okay? So here's another one that on one of those pages, could be 146, you're going to do, where it says 4 times n plus 7. Okay? And it says evaluate if n equals 10. Well, if n equals 10, you have 4 times 10 is 40, plus 7, 47, okay? So that's all that evaluate means, is you're plugging their variable, is what it's called. This, when you see, remember a couple months ago when we were talking, when a letter is standing for a number, it's a variable, okay? Or it's also sometimes called an unknown, okay? So anyway, you plug in the unknown and they say, hey, if it's 10, put in 10. If it says evaluate if n equals 8, then you put in 8. And you go ahead and do, I like to even call it like a formula or an equation, okay? Now I thought some of you would have questions on number 4. So what I did is, well, I summarized number 4 because it basically takes up almost the whole page. and I changed the numbers because I didn't want to just give it to you. So let's talk about number 4 for a second. Danny, a made-up person, Danny makes $9 an hour helping his neighbor, okay? So every hour Danny makes, helping his neighbor, he makes $9. So if he works 2 hours, he gets $18. If he works 4 hours, he made $36. Okay, see? 9 times the hour, $9 per hour. But Mom said, I'll give you an extra $15, not an hour, just when you're done, because you did a nice thing by helping the neighbor, I'm gonna give you an extra $15. So the book says, what's the expression? Or what's the equation? Or what's the formula for this particular problem? Okay? So, well, we had it up here before. We've got $9 times T, which is time. How many hours did Danny work? And we're rounding it off to hours. It won't be, 8.5 hours or 9.25 hours. It's just going to be a whole number hours. So 9 times the hours gives you the amount of money the neighbor's paying, and then you add Mom's $15 on. See, that's our expression. That's our formula. And then they tell you, well, if you've got this written down, what if Danny worked 5 hours? Well, all you do is plug that in, okay? Which I did here. $9 times 5 hours. So the neighbor's paying him $45, plus Mom's 15, he gets $60, okay? That's, I'm sure all of you are going, oh yeah, that's easy. So what about if the book says, hey, what if Danny wanted to make $78? How many hours is that? Well, plug all the information into your equation, into your formula. So here's what we got. T is what we're trying to figure out. Okay, time, hours. That's the only thing we don't know. That's our unknown. Up here we knew T equaled 5 hours. Now we don't know, okay? So we got 9 times T plus $15 equals 78, because when it's all said and done, he wants to make $78. So what is T? Okay? So Dr. Couture's class, I know I taught you some algebra, so this is a good time for you to try your algebra skills. Remember those pages I gave you in algebra. The rest of the 4th grade, I think the best way to do this is really just to guess and check, okay? But remember, can we go back down here? Remember, 5 hours gave us $60. Remember that? You can use that information to help you here, okay? So he's only at $60 here and he wants 78, so you're going to have to go up on the hours, okay? So guess and check. Try 6, try 7, try 8, whatever you think. But then that'll tell you T equals, okay? Now, like I said, I changed the numbers on this number 4, so I'm just going to go ahead and give this to you. This is 7 hours, okay? Because 9 times 7 is $63, plus $15 is $78 total, okay? So when you get to that problem, now you'll know how to do it, okay? Back up here, 147, 148, home connections is just a review. Just remember this, that distributive property again. 78 times 35 equals, which means it's the same as 70. So we took this apart. We left the 35. We split 78 into 70 and 8. So 78 times 35 is the same as 70 times 35 plus 8 times 35. And both sides, remember, left side has to equal the right side. Remember me saying that? Both sides are 2,730. Okay? So yes. So you will have to know that for, I forget which page, but one of those pages has a few of those on there. Okay? Final thing, your last official assignment of the year from Mr. Bauer. Student book 293 to 302. Home connections 145 to 148. Okay? Anyway, I hope I've done in the past, whatever it's been, 8-10 weeks, whatever it's been, I hope I've helped you out with math. I hope you're going into 5th grade with feeling pretty good about your math skills. I hope so. And anyway, if I don't talk to some of you until September, have a great summer, and I'll see you next year. All right, hopefully. Take care.